Are you tired of watching the same recycled videos about what to do in Porto, made by people who spent maybe a week here, don't know shit about our culture, and don't even speak Portuguese? Me too. But this video is gonna be different. My name is Sarah Riovon. I am from Porto and I have been a local tour guide in the city for the past 10 years. And what you're about to watch is a no bullshit guide about the best things to do in Porto from a local's perspective, as well as the top 5 things to avoid in Porto so that you don't waste your time and your money with nonsense. Before we start, a couple of important things. First of all, if you're not in the mood to watch a full video, just scan this QR code as it will take you to the list of my recommendations of things to do in Porto, or just check the description box of this video. And if you fancy the idea of exploring Porto with a private tour guide, just send me an email. It's here on the screen, but you can find it as well on the description box of this video. Let's start with something you can't do anywhere else in the world. Port is a fortified wine produced in the Douro Valley, but it's used to be aged and shipped directly from here, Porto. And if you think you don't like port, chances are you've only tasted the cheap, bad stuff available in your country. This is why I recommend you to visit a port wine lot. Do a proper guided tour, learn how port wine is made, and then taste the good stuff. There are dozens of port wine lodges and not all of them are great. In fact, some are pretty awful. So I have made a separate video with my top 5 port wine lodges recommendations, and I recommend you to check that video. But if you are in a hurry, you will find direct links to my favorite port wine lodges in the description box. One of the nicest and totally free things to do in Porto is to walk the upper deck of the famous Luís I Bridge. From the top, you will get one of the most spectacular views of the Douro River and Porto city center. Keep walking, you will end up at Jardim do Morro, which is a famous public garden. You're in for a party now. Street musicians, friends doing picnics, and locals drinking beer on the grass while watching the sunset. It's unpretentious, it's lively, and it's one of the best vibes in Porto. São Bento train station is one of those places you absolutely have to walk into. The main hall is covered in over 20,000 hand-painted tiles, scenes from Portuguese history, royal battles, daily life from the countryside. It's absolutely gorgeous and easily one of the most photogenic places in Porto. When I was a kid, the Bulhão market was falling apart. But today, it's been beautifully restored to its old charm, and it's definitely worth the visit. Yes, it is super touristy now. I mean, there's sashimi in the middle of a traditional Portuguese market. But it still has plenty of real local gems. Bread, cheeses, olive oils, stuff you'll actually want to take back home as a food souvenir. Wander through, grab a bite, talk to the vendors. It's central, it's easy to visit, and it's a great mix of old Porto and the new energy. If you're up for a challenge, you've got to try a Francesinha. It's Porto's most iconic dish. It's basically a sandwich with a steak, different types of sausages, ham, covered in melted cheese, and a spicy beer-based sauce poured over the top and served with fries. With over 1,200 calories on its own, it's kind of a heart attack on a plate. In Porto, we love it. If you want my personal list of the best Francesinha spots, you'll find that in the description box. I challenge you to eat a full Francesinha on your own. Just maybe clear your afternoon schedule, as you'll definitely need a nap afterwards. Before we move on, I have a small favor to ask you. If you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the subscribe button. This way, you're not gonna miss any of my new videos about Porto and the Douro Valley. As you can see, I make no fluff, no bullshit guides, so that you can enjoy this region as a local and not as a confused tourist. Alright, let's move on. Palácio da Bolsa, or the Stock Exchange Palace, is a 19th century building with incredible architecture and interior design. The art of room alone is worth the visit. Think of a room entirely covered in gold leaf. But my favorite and often overlooked room is the entry hall. You can only visit with a guided tour, so make sure to book in advance. It's a short visit and honestly a bit too formal for my personal taste, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you enjoy history, architecture, or just really good ceilings. There are very few touristy things I recommend without hesitation. This is one of them. The Six Bridges cruise takes you along the Douro River and gives you a completely unique perspective of the city. You'll pass under all the iconic bridges and see both Porto and Vila Nova de Gaia, the city across the river, directly from the water. It's calm, it's scenic, and it's especially nice at the sunset. Book it in advance, the link is in the description box, or you risk being stuck with the loudest group tour on the planet. If you are looking for something quieter, away from the city center, tourists, and tiles, go to the Serralves Contemporary Art Foundation. It is a contemporary art museum surrounded by a massive park, and it's one of the most peaceful places in Porto. Even if you're not into modern art, just walking through the gardens and the treetop walk among the trees is a great way to spend a morning. This is one of those places locals go when they want to breathe a bit. It's stylish, it's smart, and it's very underrated. If you want to eat like a local, skip the city center and head to Matosinhos. This is a coastal city around 8 kilometers away from Porto, famous for its seafood restaurants. Here, you'll find fresh fish being grilled right on the street. Smoky, simple, and absolutely delicious. There's nothing fancy about it. Just good fish, grilled to perfection, and usually served with grilled potatoes and a salad on the side. A classic Portuguese meal, and way more authentic than any overpriced plate of octopus that you can find in downtown Porto. Let's end with something simple and truly local. Grab a beer or a soda, walk up to the Virtude viewpoint in the late afternoon, and just sit. This little park fills up with locals afterwards. People chatting, musicians playing, couples watching the sun go down. The view is beautiful, the vibe is super relaxed, and it costs you nothing. No reservation, no tour, no fuss. Just Porto at its best. Now let's move on to the 5 biggest tourist traps in Porto. Things that I think you should avoid while staying in Porto in order to save your precious time and your precious money as well. Let's start. The big tourist trap in Porto. Libreria Lelo might be the most hyped bookstore in Europe, and honestly, to visit it, it's a nightmare. Picture very long queues just to get in, and once you're inside, it's so packed you won't be able to move, let alone take a photo. All those beautiful shots you see on Instagram, totally unrepeatable in real life. The bookstore is beautiful, but unless you enjoy standing in a sweaty crowd, both outside and on the inside, just skip it altogether. Taking the tram in Porto, it looks charming. Old trams, cobbled streets, cute views. But here's the reality. Very long lines, you can't book the tram in advance, and inside you feel like you're sardine in a can. You're crammed in with other tourists, and the ride is bumpy, slow, and rarely scenic. It's boiling hot, it's not comfortable, and it's not fast. Cafe Majestic is undeniably beautiful, but the prices are ridiculous. €6 for an espresso, no locals inside, and honestly, the food and service don't justify the price tag. If you want to see it, go take a photo and then move on. Climbing the Clérigos Tower. It sounds cool. Climb the famous tower, get an epic view of the city, but here's the thing. The stairs are very narrow and there are people going up and down at the same time. So the climb is slow and it feels claustrophobic. Moreover, the space at the top is tiny and it's always packed. My advice, visit the church instead. It's right next to the tower and you can enjoy a fantastic multimedia show that's a hit among locals. You can find the tickets to this experience on the description box. The Guinda's elevator, it's small, it's slow, and there are always queues to use it. You wait longer than the ride itself, and the views, they're not as special to be honest. You can get much better views in other places, so just keep the Guinda's elevator. Now you know what to do in Porto and the things you should avoid at all costs. If you're interested in checking the activities that I mentioned on the video, you can simply scan this QR code or check the description box of this video, where you're going to find my top recommendations as well as the links to the activities that I would recommend you to book in advance. And if you would like to explore Porto with someone that can take you beyond the obvious, someone that can give you access to places that you would never find on your own and give you a window for you to truly understand the Portuguese culture and history, just send me an email. My email address is right on the screen, or as usual, on the description box. And before you go, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button of this channel. This will help me to produce more no bullshit content about Porto and the Douro Valley. I hope to see you next time. Bye!